I just got done recording a video without sound, so I got to redo this video again just for you because I love you guys and I want you guys to get this message because it's going to help you. It's not your strategy that's keeping you stuck. It's something else. It's this thing that I want to talk about within this video specifically and explain it to you in a way that it's going to help you understand clearly why it's not strategy and why if you keep changing your strategy all the time, nothing's ever going to work and you're just going to keep looping and staying stuck forever. I've seen this a lot with traders. They hop around from one strategy to another, thinking that it's external, that if they just find the right strategy, it'll be the answer to all of their problems. But in actual fact, it's not the strategy. They don't even know themselves. They don't even know the type of character, the personality, and the type of trader that they are. Should they be looking at a scalping strategy, a day trading strategy, or a swing trading strategy? They can't even figure that one out. And they're trying everything because whatever guru comes online, whatever horse looks good, they buy it. They buy into it. They see the Lambo and then they immediately think that it works. You see? But they don't want to think about the losses. They just think that the strategy has to work all the time. And then when it doesn't work, it confuses them. I just had my best month this month and it's been great. And I'm using the same strategy I was last year, but last year I couldn't get the strategy to work until I fixed myself. And for this week, I'm done trading. I've had 3 trades, all wins. I know that there's no more trades for me this week because I know my strategy. My strategy tells me that there's no more setups coming for this week. And that's the beauty of understanding your strategy, because you stick to one strategy long enough, you know the ins and outs of it. You're confident about it. You know how to operate it. You don't need to switch around. If there's no more trades for the week, there's no more trades for the week. What are you trying to force trades for? You see? So a lot of people are just addicted to strategy hopping and forcing trades and the dopamine hit that they get, and they confuse it with work. You are confusing strategy hopping, you're confusing consuming content, you're confusing learning new strategies all the time with work. It's not productivity, it's not productive work. You're busy, but you're not achieving anything. You're doing the wrong things. You're not moving forward. You're not progressing. You're just tinkering. You're treating trading as a hobby. And it's not a hobby. It's a business. And a business has a system. Right? McDonald's sells 1 cheeseburger. And they only sell 1 cheeseburger. And it has worked forever. They don't switch the cheeseburger and then try doing a Whopper Jr. or something else the next week, or you know what I mean? They have the same system and they stick to what works. And they know how to make their burgers work because it sells. It smells a certain way, it tastes a certain way, and they know that if they put their restaurant where there's enough people walking past, a certain amount of people are going to come in and buy and eat. Impulse. So you can be the consumer consuming the burger, the strategy hopping. One day it's a cheeseburger, the next day it's a fish burger and fries, whatever you feel like. Or you can use this and be the business and stick to one system that you know, that you master. You see, the problem is if you keep strategy hopping all the time, not only do you lose confidence in trading and in yourself because you never see anything work, you don't stick to anything long enough to see it work. You keep changing it. You don't give it time to work, so you never really build a system. And instead, you become the consumer because you're consuming content. You're consuming new strategies. You're looking for new indicators. You're not thinking as a business operator, you're now a consumer in your mind. And it's fine because the consumer is controlled through dopamine. All the products in the world were built to trigger your dopamine so that you get hooked, so that you are addicted to the product. And it's the same with trading. It's the same with every time you open a chart, every time you take a trade, every time you see a green candle, or every time you go into a little bit of profit, you get a dopamine hit. Every time you install a new indicator or learn a new secret, you think you're learning something new. And so you get this satisfaction, this dopamine hit within you. Do you understand? And then because you do that, you're subconsciously programming yourself to become hooked on this way of life. And it's the wrong way to operate if you're always operating from your impulses, from your dopamine, because you're hooked onto the hop, the strategy hop, without knowing it. And because that gives you the dopamine hit, and then when you take a loss, that's pain, right? So your natural state, your natural reaction is going to be to avoid the pain because you don't like pain. And then your mind comes back and remembers, oh, the last time I switched the strategy, I got a really nice dopamine hit. See, you never looked inside. You never looked inward, right? You just followed your lizard brain and your dopamine, and you're just chasing dopamine because you're avoiding pain. And every time you feel pain, you try to cover it up with dopamine, and that dopamine is changing into a new strategy again and again and again, or watching another video. How many videos have you watched about strategy? The strategy is not the problem. The strategy is the easy part, right? Until you understand that it's you, that you're the strategy, your psychology is the strategy, the way you think is the strategy, the amount of emotional intelligence you have, the emotional control, self-control, discipline, mastery, self-mastery, awareness of yourself, that is the strategy. That is the winning formula. And until you fix this, nothing will change. You'll just keep blaming the strategy or blaming the market or blaming something and tweaking forever. It becomes a hobby. You're not an operator. You're not a business operator anymore. You're trading for fun, right? Because you're just running away from pain and running towards dopamine all the time, and you don't know it. And this is a problem. This is what's going to keep you stuck in a loop. So the way you fix this is you look inward. You go inward like I had to, right? My strategy is pretty much the same strategy I was using last year and not profitable, but now this year I am. Why? Because I fixed me. I went inside. I fixed this. I fixed this, what's inside. Do you understand? I fixed my emotional baggage, my self-identity. I reprogrammed my mind. I reprogrammed my mindset to have the correct trading mindset for a trader. I built trust in my system. I repeated my system, my strategy. I built the system around the strategy, and I refined it and I mastered it, and I just made it better and better and better, and I did it more often, and I repeat the same thing every time, every week. And every time I do that, I sharpen the axe. You see? So now I get more confident in my own strategy, in my one strategy, in myself. I get confidence for me to trust myself with my strategy and execute when it's time to execute. The 3 trades that I was looking to take this week, I already was looking at them since Sunday, and I had no idea what day of the week it was going to happen. It could have been any day of the week. I was fine with that. As long as the setup happened, then I'm taking the trade. And it's Tuesday and all 3 trades are done already. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I couldn't trade because it was a Monday. No, man, it doesn't work like that. If the setup comes, you take it. You don't hesitate, regardless of what day of the week. And because I've done my 3 setups that I pre-planned, and I know my edge, and I know that my edge is not showing again for the rest of the week, I'm done. I don't need to look at the chart. I'm done for the week. I'm done for the week, and I already made more money than most people that work a whole month. Less is more. And until you master yourself and then you master your strategy, your one strategy, nothing will ever change. You won't improve. Out here on this nice walk around this lake. This is the second video I had to do. The first one, I recorded it and the mic was not on. Can you believe it? I'm still getting used to this equipment. But the point I'm making is you have to master yourself. And if you want to work on yourself, check out the first link in the description, the Inner Edge Pro. This is the secret. This is the same thing that I use to change myself and my students are using to change themselves. I'm getting tons of emails every day from my students thanking me, saying that this shit works. It fucking works. They're shocked. They are completely shocked. They weren't expecting it to work, and it's working. Chronic people with chronic negative trading habits of 20 years, unable to break negative habits, suddenly in my program, everything is okay now. They're able to control their emotions. They're able to stop trading. They're not over trading. They're able to stick to one system. Why? Why? You don't know how close you are, and basically you don't know what you don't know. So if you want to change, check out the first link in the description, the Inner Edge Pro. I swear to God, it's the last course that you'll have to buy if you have a good strategy. If you know you have a strategy and it's just a little bit, it's just, you suspect that it's you, it is you. Trust me, it's you, right? And this is the only course that's going to fix it. So I am going to go. I'm going to love you and leave you. It's been a pleasure ranting to you again. Another day, another rant. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and like and subscribe and drop your comments below and let me know if you suspect it's your mindset that keeps playing tricks on you and making you change your strategy all the time. If you have this problem, this is the fix, okay? There's no other fix. There's the willpower does not work. You need the course. Until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Bye.